Hello there, people watching the video. Welcome to the Making of the Island episode. I'm Colin Bogert, creator, director, voice actor, producer, lead writer, artist, animator for OddBall Adventures. Today, I'll be talking to you about the development and production of episodes 6 and 7, also known as the Island episode, parts 1 and 2. OddBall Adventures was created by myself, David Alsop, and Caleb Kuvian. Shortly after meeting Caleb, he proposed the idea of making an Eddsworld-inspired show, starring fictionalized versions of ourselves. The show revolves around 3 guys getting themselves into absurd, odd situations and needing to find a way out of them. At this time, though, we were making our episodes in Little Big Planet 2 and 3, with the idea that one day we would move on to animation. In the summer of 2016, shortly after writing The Oddfather, David and I were at each other's throats, and had a bit of a falling out, somewhat related to a girl we came in contact with. We sucked.
I can't help but feel a little betrayed, Brian.
But don't worry, by spring the next year, we were the best of friends again. After Dave finished watching Lost, he pitched the idea for an Oddball episode titled Stranded, where the guys get stranded on an island. After the events that transpired the previous summer, I proposed a plot inspired by Tarzan, Lord of the Flies, and Madagascar.
San Diego.
Dave falls in love with a jungle girl, and Colin tries to kill him. That's the logline for the episode. In April 2017, I wrote the first outline of the story. The most notable changes being Anna was there from the beginning, Dave and Colin both hung out with Izzy, the survivors were hiding in a cave that Anna and Caleb would later find, and Mayor George was the bad guy. In May the next year, 2018, Dave wrote a second draft. Most of the plot was kept the same, except George would take the role of what would become the salesman. We really didn't want George to be a bad guy, though. He's a weird guy with a big heart, he's not malicious. So, a day after releasing The Oddfather, August 19, 2018, Dave and I created the salesman and combined both of our outlines. The final 5-page outline was written on September 28, 2018. You can read all of these original outlines and drafts of the script over on our Patreon. Script writing began in October of 2018. The original script was much more chunky. Like, chunky.
Yes, girl. You huge.
The original opening was a foreshadow to the plane crash later on, which just kind of copied the scene from Lost. We really wanted to sell the idea that Colin and Dave were friends. This was shown by having them discuss a crossword puzzle for like 2 minutes. In the end, this was cut down to just,
Thanks, man. This is why we're friends.
a long scene preceded them arriving on the island, sitting on the boat talking about the fun things they'll do at the amusement park, as well as further foreshadowing the salesman's motives.
Call me Captain.
As you can probably see, the script was much more character-driven than it already is, and wasn't very funny at all. Dave and I got into our heads that we had to make this big, epic drama, and it was shit. Good thing Caleb stepped in and helped put his certified funny all over it. Thanks, Caleb. This episode would suck without you. The final script was completed on New Year's Day 2019, under the title, When David Met Izzy. It's like when Harry met Sally. I never seen that movie. With the script locked, we can move on to... The first design of Izzy was drawn in May of 2017, and looked like this. Mayor George was also an already established character in the show, so all we had to do was adapt him for 2D. And if you look closely in Oddfather, you can see a beta design of him. The remaining characters, such as the salesman and the survivors, were designed by Caleb. Caleb also pitched a new title for the episode, Archipelagod. Get it? Like, archipelago, but odd. Ain't that funny? For casting, we wanted to utilize our Discord server with some community engagement. So we hosted open casting for the episode. We got some interesting auditions.
The boat leaves from the Georgetown docks in 20 minutes, so you better come right now. Tickets cost 25 cents each. Alright?
I hope that was good.
It was a long hour of going through voices, but we eventually ended up with the final cast. Close friend of the show and voice of Grizz, Patrick Hill as Mayor George. Madness voice actor William Harmer as the salesman. Onion Skin member and Outerworth creator Kenny Coman as Joe. Michael and James creator John Lopez as Steven. Local voice actor and Star Trek fan Charlie Nider as Sally. Wandering voice actor as everyone's favorite character Mike. And for our star actress, close friend of the show, Oriana Hernandez as Izzy. Recording was pretty straightforward. We just sent the actors the script and told them to record about 2 to 3 takes of each line. Fun stuff. Now, it was mid-January, and pre-production was moving fast, so let's kick it! Storyboarding for the episode began on January 22nd, 2019. For Oddfather and all other animations I had done at that point, I had done the storyboards and animatics in Flash. This sucked. So, I decided to do all of my storyboards for the episode on paper. All of them! This also allowed Caleb to help out on some scenes. Caleb's storyboards are more comedic in its direction. bigger faces and expressions, as opposed to my boards, which are cinematic, but rigid and emotionless. Most of the storyboards had been complete by late February 2019, and we can move on to... I animated the episode all by myself. We made good progress, and the episode was just about all done by June. For some scenes, Caleb oversaw animation directing, giving me some notes on pacing, when to stretch out some frames or movement. It was a really fun production. A lot of the editing was very simple. This was the first big project I had worked on with sound design, so that's new. For music, we went from free-to-use tracks from Little Big Planet that I would edit and pitch shift and change around.
The Negativitron arrived. An attack!
About a week before release, we had finally decided on a name. We had been calling it the Island episode internally for years at this point, so why not just call it that? The final thing to edit was the very end credits. We wanted to tease the next episode with a title card in the end credits. Thank goodness Caleb got his sketch back to me the night before the episode was set to air. Thanks, buddy! Without you, this episode wouldn't be half as funny! I didn't get sleep that night as I was editing and putting the final touches on the episode to be released at 3 p.m. the following day on July 5th, 2019, the 30th anniversary of Seinfeld.
First, I get stranded on an island, then I get tranquilized by the mayor, and now my own best friend is plotting to murder me!
The episode released. I shared it around, stepped outside, and sat on the porch to celebrate the great release. We had already recorded parts 1 and 2 simultaneously, so we could just jump right into production. I felt really satisfied with the work done. If the episode went so smoothly, 16 minutes in 6 months, the next should be a cinch. And then it started raining. In 2019, I joined the production crew of Cancelled, a show created by my very close friend, Octolivy. My initial role as a voice actor very quickly was promoted to co-creator, co-director, and lead writer. After Island 1 was finished, most of my focus was aimed at animating and overseeing Cancelled Episode 1's production, which was later released on November 30th, 2019. I was also producer and co-director on a now cancelled Eddsworld project. So yeah, I kinda had my hands tied. I knew I would be very busy with more projects during Island 2, but I hopped in determined anyways. I was focused on getting the pacing, animation, sound, and cinematography on point. Storyboarding for Part 2 lasted from July to August 2019. Caleb was starting college at the time and couldn't do any more storyboards. His scenes were passed back to me. Animation on this one took a long-ass time, it did, lasting a full year from October 2019 to October 2020. John Lopez had also offered to help out. Thanks, buddy. This episode probably would have not come out for another month later if it wasn't for you. Reluctant at first, I eventually gave him a few little shots to do. In exchange, I would assist him with animation for his 2-part Michael and James episode, The Blue Onion. Other projects were starting to pick up pace, and I was animating much slower than Island 1. I figured now would be a good time to assemble a team.
Avengers! Oh my god!
The production server was made in January 2020, and I brought on some friends from my newly formed animation group behind Cancelled, Onion Skin Studios, to help out. Octolivy, Kenny Coleman, and Adrian Carminetti were all brought on to help animate. An additional shot was given to Grimly Jenny, and Ariva Pool handled the final scene all by herself. The flashback Good Times memory sequence was also really fun. I asked the artists if they could draw Colin and Dave in whatever goddamn situation they wanted. The art we got back was amazing, and I love all of them. Did you catch all the references? Maybe? Cool! Right now, it had been about 6 months since we started production on Part 2. By now, Island 1 already came out. With the new team in place, working on a handful of shots and sequences, I remembered that we went into the episode wanting to fix some segments, mainly the pacing. The ant scene was added in post. Hello. We rewrote and re-recorded some Salesman and Izzy dialogue during important segments.
Sorry, dude. I'm just not compatible.
Thanks for everything.
And we rewrote and re-recorded the confrontation scene 3 times.
Hey guys, I just learned how to murder with wood! It's as easy as carpentry!
You've literally gone completely insane! This island has driven you completely bonkers! Look at this girl, do you really think she's been sabotaging us?
Side note, ever wonder why Colin's audio sounds so much better in this scene compared to the rest of the episode? Well, back when we recorded in January 2019, I was still using my crappy headset microphone. After we rewrote the confrontation scene, I recorded it with my newer mic. Because I don't care. A lot of the changes, such as with pacing, came in the editing. I went back and re-edited every single scene, adding holds on character expressions, extending some sequences, slowing some down, and re-exporting the animation for the highest quality colors. For reference, before any additions, credits, or final editing, the animation itself is only 17 minutes. I also decided to make a new title card for the episode. The 2019 version was super outdated and didn't really reflect the episode anymore. So I painted over some of Caleb's storyboards. On Halloween 2020, I was animating while watching Ding Dong VG's Halloween 3D Movie Maker Film Fest. And then I realized I was done. The animation was complete, along with the majority of the editing. Okay, Dave, Caleb, and I got together in the middle of the week and reviewed the episode. The video went live on Saturday, November 7th. At the very end of an Eddsworld meeting, I had to scramble to promote the episode. But hey, it was done. It came out. I guess a lot of people liked it. What do you think? What do you think, people? And that's the end of it. Thank you all so much for viewing the video. I hope you had a fun time while watching. I hope you had a few goofs and gaffs. If you want to further support us, go check out our little merch store. We got some goddamn cool things up on there. You can go to our Patreon for a bunch of behind-the-scenes videos and extras. Or hey, or just share us around if you want. I don't care. Up to you. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye now. Bye.